Hi, y'all. Welcome back to Living in Hope. Today, I want to talk about mindset. So, if you can, please close your eyes and just envision for the next few minutes. And if you can't, that's okay too. I remember the first time Mom told me you wanted her to throw me in the garbage because I was sick, and that meant she couldn't take you to the park. I remember standing in line outside the theater all day to see Destroy All Monsters with you. I remember late night, waking to a noise, then falling back to sleep, only to have you leap to your feet, roaring beside my bed to wake me. I'm pretty sure I screamed and cried. I remember you did that so often I never slept through the night again, unless I was sick. I remember you used to beat up my stuffed animals just to make me cry, and the harder I cried, the more you beat them up. I remember you chasing me through the house to knock me down, then sit on me till I couldn't breathe. I was sure you were going to kill me. I remember you did the same by smothering me with a pillow. And I remember the day I made damn sure you'd never do it again. I remember your friends bullying me and you laughing right along with them. I remember putting together the remote control racetrack in the basement and racing the cars with you. It didn't matter that you always won. I remember watching Christopher Lee's Dracula with you and your assurances that it was just a movie and vampires didn't exist. I remember you were the golden boy and I was the one they clucked their tongues at. I remember the day Pop tried to show you how to change a tire on his car, and I got frustrated and just started pulling the jack pieces out and setting them up. I remember Pop putting the bass on the stand and then showing me how to work the rest of it while you watched. I remember they had high hopes for you and learned early to give up on me. I got the better end of the deal on that one. I remember the first time they told me you were in the hospital. I think it was your first. I think it was you first, and then Mom. But I remember being angry with you about it. Maybe even more than I was at Mom. I took it personally. I shouldn't have, but I didn't know that yet. I remember the parties you'd throw at the house with your friends and walking them around the neighborhood until they were sober enough to stand on their own. I remember later, in between, you had some rough years. I had some rough times, but eventually got an education I wanted and began to build a career. I remember my graduation gift from you and your then significant other. It was a Stevie Nicks concert at Poplar Creek. It was a great night, just the three of us. I remember we tried to sneak into a club with you guys, you tried to sneak me into a club with you guys, but I froze like a deer in the headlights and they wouldn't let us in. Then we changed some more. You had some other problems and stopped working and drifted further away, driven by demons that were seeded and sprouted in you so long ago when we were young, ones I think you believed were unconquerable. I went to school again and got an associate's and another step into a more stable career. I remember looking toward a light at the end of the tunnel that had been my life up to that point. They changed around us, growing old. Their one-time indomitability became infirmity. Their own states of mind either enigma or defiant of any responsibility. I remember you never came to help. You never offered to spend time with them. You had to be bribed to show up to collect your fee or allowance. I remember when you were diagnosed and how you never looked for ways to try to help yourself get better. You withdrew more. I did the best I could of what was expected. The light grew larger and closer, but it came at a horrible cost. I don't remember seeing you at all. or talking with you for a couple years between Graham and Mom, except at their respective funerals. Later, I got my own diagnosis, but I also had resources you did not, because you never went back to work, never wanted to do anything to live any other way than scraping the seat cushions for pennies. I almost remember mailing you a Christmas card my first holiday after moving away, after my last reason to stay was gone. After all, you made it very clear none of us mattered. I think that first card, it had a letter in it. I also think I remember receiving a card back, probably after Christmas. I sent links to articles, to videos, to lectures, to white papers, to research. I sent you my email, suggested you go to the library and learn how to use a computer there. You couldn't be bothered. The cards continued, each with a little update at birthday and Christmas for the next 14 years. Yours always replete with details about how miserable you were. Mine carefully crafted to share trials while avoiding telling you too much about my triumphs. And here we are, both of us middle-aged, living the lives we created for ourselves, for better or for worse. I remember a discussion we had not so long ago. Now that you've lost your wife, your means to keep your meager but largely independent lifestyle, and all connections to anyone you've ever known, except me. During this discussion, I told you I hold myself responsible for my familial heritage disease, and will fight tooth and nail to correct it, which is possible if you're not a diet cheat like I am. You got angry with me for taking responsibility for my condition, my life, my happiness, or even sometimes my sadness. And I am long past being angry with you for not having the courage to take responsibility for your life as it is. I am instead sad. Because unlike you, I remember the promise of you. Now, if you notice one thing, this is all from one person's perspective. We have that experience, we have their experience and memories, but we are never given any motive from the other person. I would challenge anyone listening to imagine, if you will, motivations and or a mirror perspective from the other person, technically the first sibling. Now, if you found any of this helpful, either in your real life and the challenges you faced, or in helping create characters with more multidimensional personalities for your creative works, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and remember, yes, I'm trying to get to that magic, precious 1,000 subscribers, and of course, share. If you have your own experiences, please comment. Put them in the, if you're not afraid to, if you're not embarrassed to, put them in the comments section, as well as what you think about them, perhaps. Anyway, comments really, really help more than you know. So one way or the other, either way you look at it, keep writing, keep reading, keep creating, and together we will keep hope alive. So, thank you for being here.